Giuseppe, everybody.
You probably have seen many blockchain applications, and you may ask, where are all these applications going to run? Why is it that in the last 10 years, blockchain technology has not been able to scale? You're about to see how the blockchain potential can be unlocked. My name is Giuseppe, good afternoon. A few years ago, something happened in my life that changed my life. This has happened before, but this time was different. It was as if it seemed to be my fate. When I looked at Bitcoin and the blockchain potential, I realized that my passion for innovation and my previous experiences all came together. I could see a link among the various projects that have been involved before. Working in research at IBM in developing peer networks, consulting for AT&T and Bell Canada on communication architecture, teaching computer science, meeting researchers from top companies around the world during the standardization of open systems interconnection, representing Canada as the head of the working group of open distributed processing. The research I completed on a distributed information bank that was published in a conference in Berlin in 1986. These experiences touched on all aspects of blockchain technology. I felt I was born for this. I used to wake up at night and jot down some of the pieces of these puzzles. I couldn't sleep at night. The consensus mechanism of blockchain networks is the most critical aspect of blockchain technology. But it seemed to be designed by a mathematician, not by an engineer. It had to be redesigned. It had to be distributed. Right now, you have one node sending a block to everybody else. A distributed consensus could possibly have the biggest impact in technology since the advent of the research on packet switching that led to the internet. I stopped doing anything else, any other business, consulting, developing, even recreation. When I found a distributed consensus solution, I knew it was big. I spoke to a number of researchers. Raouf Boutaba, probably at University of Waterloo, this didn't translate very well in the slide, is probably one of the top experts in North America on computer networks and security and encryption. Giovanni Di Crescenzo at New York University and others agreed to be our advisors. The leader-based consensus model had precluded research in different directions. For example, Silvio Micali at MIT, another Italian, had developed a better leader-based consensus model. But nobody had looked at a distributed model. I had to make it happen. I had to put this into instructions. So I wrote a simulation program and proved that this system works. In fact, I kept discovering more and more advantages to this solution. This next diagram shows how improvements in IT technology are linked to the concept of distribution. We started with centralized systems, operating systems, and applications. And at IBM, we started developing peer-to-peer computer networks in 1973. The challenge was how to securely replicate the information in a faulty environment. This problem has been studied theoretically since 1982. A practical solution was developed by Bitcoin in 2008. But it soon exhibited some problems. And the problems were derived from its tendency towards centralization. Many similar networks followed, but basically all of them were leader-based. We could also classify these networks with other parameters, for example, whether they're public or private, permissioned or unpermissioned. Some of these projects, like Tezos, this one, Tezos, or EOS, they raise hundreds of millions of dollars with the objective of solving some of the problems that we have identified. Many groups are also working on solutions at a higher layer, but not solving the problem at the root. At Gorbyte, we designed a distributed solution, fully distributed, that finally realizes the dream of peer-to-peer public network with no intermediaries, able to scale, and able to run tomorrow's applications. This is the team that is going to make it happen. I work with some of these people. Mauro worked with me at IBM at the development lab in Canada. Giacomo Marini, you cannot see it, but Giacomo was working with me at the IBM Scientific Center in Pisa, in Italy, a long time ago. And a long time ago, he decided to move first to Switzerland and then to Palo Alto, and he's one of the co-founders of Logitech. Probably you have some devices from Logitech. Can you imagine a network with no miners and no verifiers? GNode is fully distributed. Every node of the network participates in the verification of transactions. So if you don't have intermediaries, you have zero cost of maintenance of the network. Processing is not a bottleneck anymore, so the network is scalable, and network performance will increase with technology. We can handle 10,000 transactions per second, as opposed to currently about 3 to 5 from Bitcoin and 7 to 15 from Ethereum. So blocks are never broadcast on GNodes. So that's why we can have that kind of throughput. So we solved many of the current challenges by basically stepping outside the box in 3 directions. We have a distributed consensus, and that allows us to create a network without intermediaries and the problems of intermediaries. We have heard today a number of them. The guy at Quadriga, the exchange that died and lost a lot of millions of dollars. The other direction is instead of striving for anonymity, we have a unique identity for every node, every user, every device. And so we can build reputation and, of course, trade with the rest of the world. And finally, price stability. We can achieve price stability instead of pegging the currency to another currency, or instead of allowing for volatility. So once we have this, we can achieve a number of advantages, including scalability, high throughput, low volatility, and no cost of operation. The results are a more useful currency. Our currency doors, like cash, can be moved without transaction costs, and more useful and advanced features for applications. So the applications we have heard today and many others can run on our network and can be deployed very fast. Why? Because we create a distributed operating environment that includes the common blocks to every distributed application. Communication, traceability, replicated data, and security. Those are common to every application, apart from processing, of course. And so, by being able to provide these blocks as fundamental blocks, then applications can be written on the network much faster. For example, we could create an application for smart securities in a few months. The ability to quickly develop blockchain applications will best position Gorbyte in the marketplace. The current applications running on existing networks represent perhaps 3% of the total market. GNodes will support applications that Gorbyte will develop immediately, in the near future, and further later on. Essentially any application imaginable. Just like an operating system today, you can have an app, any app, anybody can invent an app. GNodes will develop applications, but it will also support applications from third parties. You require $50 million to develop, test, and deploy the GNodes network. We are issuing 30 million security tokens through DealBox to accredited investors. The token will be backed by Gorbyte shares. The Gorbyte business model is based on licensing GNodes and applications. Users will be able to download GNodes on their device for a one-time license fee. Gorbyte will also partner with mobile phone manufacturers to include GNodes as part of their systems. Early customers of GNodes will receive rebates in our currency, GORS, equivalent to the price they paid for their license. Gorbyte anticipates to be very profitable within 3 years. So I'm happy to present to you with the opportunity to unlock the blockchain potential and be part of the growth of Gorbyte. We can create a distributed operating environment for future blockchain applications. We can save a lot of energy as well. And we may disrupt a few industries in the process. Make today the day when it all started. Thank you.